Good evening, everybody. All human beings have something in common. And what is that? Do you understand my question?
Yeah, yes.
What we all have in common, that every human being has.
Is it only one thing?
No, can be more than one thing.
We all want to be happy.
Yeah. What else?
Maybe kind of minds that sometimes you have a day and it can be appear in different places as well. That we have kind of connection through the mind.
Connection through the mind.
Yeah.
We all have three things in common. The body, the mind, and the spirit, or the consciousness, that everybody has. Some people may not believe in it, may not accept it, but that's a fact. Nobody can deny that we have a body. And perhaps nobody will also deny that we have the mind. Although we cannot see our mind. Can you see your mind? Have you seen your mind? No. But we have mind. Similarly, we also have the spirit or the consciousness, which also can be seen. And most people are aware and will accept that they have mind. But there are many people who do not know, who are not aware they have the spirit or the consciousness. Why? Because the spirit or the consciousness is not active like mind. The spirit or the consciousness is only a witnessing entity. It only observes. It only watches whatever mind does. Whether mind does good thing or whether mind does bad thing. It does not get involved. It only watches. So, we have the mind, we have the body, and we have the consciousness. Now, when we consider health, mostly people consider only the health of the body because they cannot see the mind. So they don't even think that it is necessary to keep the mind healthy unless until they have some problem, mental problem or mental disease. So all the time we want to beautify this body, we want to make the body slim, we want to make the body more healthy, more flexible and all that. But we don't think how and why we should keep our mind healthy. But it is a fact that if our mind becomes sick, our body will also become sick. Because it is the mind which controls the body. Before you came here, you thought of coming here, is it not? And you thought in your mind. If not, you will be sitting at home or you will be somewhere else. So the body is only a vehicle. It's like a car and the driver. Car will not move unless the driver moves the car. Start the engine. So mind is like the driver and body is like the car. Body just does whatever mind wants it to do. So it is not just sufficient that we keep our body healthy, but we have to also keep our mind healthy. Now first of all, what do we need? What is very, very important to keep the body healthy? Can you tell me?
Food. Food.
Food, of course. What else?
Air. Air.
Air. What else?
Exercise.
Exercise.
Huh?
Exercises.
Exercise.
Sun. Sun.
Huh? Yeah?
Sun.
Sun.
Sunlight.
Sunlight, of course, yeah.
Rest. Rest.
What?
Rest.
Rest, sleep.
Proper amount of rest and proper amount of exercise.
To keep the body healthy, the most fundamental is proper food, proper exercise, and water drinking. Of course, we need air, we need sunlight, we need water, of course, water, I've said water. To keep the body healthy, proper exercise is a must. Why? Because we eat 3 times a day. So for the proper digestion of the food, for the assimilation of the food nutrients, and the elimination of the toxins, we must do exercise every day. Because we eat 3 times a day. So proper exercise is very important. And before we come to the food, it is most important that we eat only when we are hungry, not by clock. 12 o'clock lunchtime, you are not hungry. Maybe because you had a late breakfast or a heavy breakfast. But because it is the lunchtime, you go and eat your lunch. That is not good for health. Because if you are not hungry, that means your digestive system has not properly digested and assimilated the food you have eaten before. So, it is better that you skip a lunch, or you skip a dinner, or you skip a breakfast, than keep eating and eating and eating, when the body does not need, when the body does not demand. So the first thing is, we should eat only at the urge of appetite, when we are hungry. And the second thing is, we should eat right kind of food. What is right kind of food? Of course you will say, oh, there are so many kinds of food and different people need different kind of food and all that. Basically there are 2 kinds of food, acidic food and alkaline food. Our body needs about 70% of alkaline blood and only 30% of acidic blood. So 70% of what we eat must be alkaline. And 30% acidic. But generally, we eat a lot of acidic food. Because all kinds of meat, fish, eggs, chicken, beef are highly alkaline, highly acidic. They produce too much acid in the body. Not only also white bread, white rice, too much fried food, too much processed food, canned food, so many kinds of junk food, snacks, biscuits, pastries. All these food produce too much acid. And when you have too much acid in the body, you will suffer from acidity. And when it becomes more acid, you will have ulcer. And if you have too much acid, the body cannot tolerate, you can get even a stroke. So, we have to reduce the intake of acidic food and we have to eat more alkaline food. Alkaline food are basically fresh vegetables, fruits, nuts, beans, whole wheat bread, brown rice, dairy products, if it is not in a big quantity. So, we should eat more acidic, alkaline food and less acidic food if we want to maintain proper health. If you eat lots of acidic food, it also causes constipation. Means you have problem going to toilet. You can experiment. When you, for example, you are not eating meat, fish, chicken, eggs, all that. You stop eating for this food for 1 month and you start eating only vegetables, fruits. You will feel the difference yourself. In yoga, we don't believe in anything. We experiment and find out. And you experiment, we experiment on our own physical and mental laboratory. This is the laboratory. So yoga is actually a proven, experimented science. So you can experiment on yourself. Proper food also means when we eat, our stomach should be only half full of food. 1/4 should be left for air and 1/4 should be left for water. We should not at one time eat too much. That after that we feel so full that we have to go to sleep. Or we feel so full that we cannot do anything. It is better to eat many times, eat in a small quantity, than to eat too much at one time. Proper food, then proper exercise. Exercise is even more important than food. Why? The people who work manually, the laborers, they are more healthy than the rich people. The laborers eat very simple food because they have no money. Rich people eat very rich food, very high class food, but they are more sick than the laborers. Why? Because the laborers do a lot of physical work. Our ancestors, our forefathers, they did not need doctors. There were no doctors at that time. There were no medicines. But they were very healthy physically. Why? Because they were doing a lot of physical work. When you get a survivor, do farming. If you want to go somewhere, you have to walk. So always they have to do physical work. So exercise is very important. And all the different kinds of exercise, yoga exercise is the best. Why it is the best? Because yoga exercise helps to exercise all the glands, all the internal organs. Your liver, your pancreas, your muscles, your lungs, your kidneys. So actually yoga exercise is not exercise, it is inner science. It makes you strong and healthy internally, not necessarily externally. So, you should do some yoga exercise, minimum for about 40 minutes every day. And the best time to do it is empty stomach in the morning. Because if you leave it for the evening, you come home, maybe you're tired, maybe you don't feel like doing anything, maybe you have a friend who is visiting you, maybe something happens, and then you miss, which is a very important aspect of human life, to do proper exercise. So, proper exercise, proper food, then water drinking is very, very important. We should drink minimum of 3 liters of water every day. Minimum. If you have acidity, you should drink 4 liters. If you have a kidney problem, you should drink 5 liters. And you can plan it. You drink at least 1.5 liters until 1 p.m. Another 1 liter until 5 p.m. and half liter in the night, so that's 3 liters. And you should not guess, but you should have a water bottle, not just this mineral water bottle. Mineral water bottle is for single use, not all the time. So better to have a proper water bottle, and the best is water bottle of glass or copper. If it is a plastic, they have plastic water bottle, but in the back it should be written the number 9 or 11 or 7.
What does it mean?
No, it is coming from the US. But it may be in any health food store, you can find that maybe. Here definitely you will find. Even in the Philippines I found it. So, this is
No, this one?
No.
For many use.
Huh?
For many use. Right?
Many use, but after some time also it's no use.
Yes, even water starts smelling.
Yeah.
Yes, in these bottles.
So I also use it because I have a water bottle, but sometimes it leaks. So when I carry some books, but this does not leak. But I don't use it for a long time, maybe few days and then So you should have a proper water bottle. And so drinking and tea, coffee, Pepsi Cola, Coca-Cola cannot be a substitute for water. Only fresh fruit juice and fresh vegetable juice and coconut water can be substitute for the water. Not this kind of soft drinks and tea, coffee and chocolate and all these things. No. So water drinking, proper food, proper exercise, eating only when you are hungry. What else is necessary to maintain our health? Can you think of?
Mind.
Huh?
Mind.
Mind. Of course, we'll go into that. First, I'm talking about the health of the body.
Sleep.
Hmm?
Have rest.
What?
Rest. To sleep.
Sleep. Yeah. We should sleep. When we sleep is, as far as sleep is concerned, we should sleep only when we feel sleepy. Some people have insomnia. What is insomnia? They cannot sleep. They go to the bed, keep rolling and rolling. Whole night, cannot sleep. So if you cannot sleep, then it's better you go for a walk, or you read some book, or you do something. Not force yourself to sleep. And then the next question is, how many hours do you sleep?
6.
How many hours?
At least up to the 8.
Up to 8. Yeah, generally people sleep about 8 hours because that is what the doctors have back there. But 8 hours is too much. You can easily manage with 6 hours. It's how you train your mind. Sleeping is a habit. And eating also. And they are very close friends. If you eat too much, you need more sleep. If you eat less, especially in the night, you will get less sleep. So, if we want to sleep less, then the most important thing is that our body should be free from toxins. We must not suffer from constipation. A healthy person should go to the toilet at least twice a day, morning and evening. Then we can reduce the amount of sleep. Suppose you are sleeping now 8 hours. Don't try to start sleeping from tomorrow 6 hours. No, from 8 hours you reduce to 7.5. Then after 1 month, maybe 7. Then after 2 months, 6.5. So like that, slowly you can reduce the hour of sleep. Because if we sleep every day, 8 or 9 hours, children up to 30 days sleep most of the time. When you grow old, your body cannot do anything, you sleep most of the time. And on the top of that, if you sleep, we should sleep only in the night. It is better to sleep early and wake up early than sleeping late in the night and getting up late in the morning. Then even if you sleep too much, you will still feel tired. So better to sleep at between 10 and 11 and try to get up at 5 or before 5. That's the best time to sleep. And no matter what, we should always try to get up before sunrise. And avoid sleeping in the daytime unless until you have not a good sleep in the night, or you are traveling, or you are sick. Then it's a different thing. But normally, we should avoid sleeping in the daytime. So, avoid sleeping in the daytime and sleep early and get up early. What else? Can you think of something else? Another thing very important is fasting. Eating is necessary, but fasting is also very important. Because this body is a kind of biological machine. Even human-made machine needs rest, is it not? So this biological machine also needs rest. Even when you are sleeping, your body is busy digesting the food you have eaten in the dinner. So your body never gets complete rest. So if you don't eat for one day does not mean from morning until evening. One day means sunlight to sunlight, 24 hours. Then your digestive system slows down and your entire body slows down. And next day when you break your fast, all the toxins from your body will go out. Fasting is the best way to detox. And we need to detox time to time, because many times we eat junk food, many times we overeat, many times we eat when we are not hungry. So at least twice a month we should fast. Fasting is the best kind of rest for the body.
Is there any other way to do detox other than fasting? Because fasting is very extreme.
No, you see, it is a question of training your body and training your mind. If you cannot fast in the beginning, then those 2 days in a month you try to take only fruit juice. Start with that, only fruit juice. You do that for 3 months. Then you go only water. Then maybe after 6 months, 1 year, you try to do dry fast. A complete fast is without food and water. But to fast without water is very difficult. So you can drink water. But try not to take anything else. But if some people fast even with the water, they feel very weak, or they feel dizzy, or they have headache. But actually that is not because of fasting. It is because of the toxins in the body. The body wants to start eliminating the toxins. It mixes with the blood, and that's why you feel dizzy, you feel weak, you have headache, you feel sick when you are fasting. So you go slowly, step by step.
And if you have, for example, juice the whole day, and then next day when you break the fast, you do the same thing as you do lemon water?
Yeah. When you fast for 24 hours, and next day when you break your fast, the first thing is, you take about 1.5 liters of water, and if the lemon is big, 1 lemon juice, or if the lemon is small, 2 lemon juice. Squeeze it, remove the seed from the, and put 2 teaspoons of salt. You mix it and make the water a little warm. And you drink it as fast as possible. Then you wait. Because you have done so much water, you will feel pressure, you will go to the toilet and all the toxins will go out. And even suppose it does not happen, it is not harmful. Okay, go on doing your normal duty. Maybe you will not be able to go to the toilet because you have too much toxin, you may not be able to go to the toilet in the beginning. So after some time, After a few hours, you go to toilet, or by the evening, and everything will be out, all the toxins will be out. And after taking this lemon water and salt, first thing is you eat 1 or 2 banana, very ripe banana, which is a black spot. Because banana has natural sugar, so it will give you energy. If banana is not available, then dates. But put the date in the water in the night, soak it in the night, maybe 6-7 days, And then in the morning, you take the date, after lemon water and salt, after going to toilet, take the date with the water, drink the water also. And then you take your normal dose. One day after fasting, don't eat too much. Because your intestine has contracted. So if you eat too much, you will have indigestion. A day before fasting also, don't eat too much. Because if you eat little and everything is digested and toxin eliminated, then fasting is easy. But if you eat too much a day before fasting, then definitely you will have headache.
Tomorrow is Ekadashi, right?
Yeah?
Tomorrow is Ekadashi.
Tomorrow I'm fasting, yeah. Tomorrow is fasting.
But it's look like 2 days, 7 and 8.
Yeah, you can fast even on 8. Fasting can be 3 days. The actual day, 1 day before, can be 1 day after. Of course, the best is to do on an actual day. But sometimes you have some important thing to do and some for socializing or something. Then you can fast a day before or you can fast a day after. As a matter of tomorrow I have 2 lectures. But I am going to fast. For me it makes no difference. I don't feel fasting. For me I don't feel any weakness. I don't feel any effect.
Fasting
After
is
12
okay.
o'clock I don't feel hungry or don't feel thirsty also. I fast without water.
Fasting is okay, but to break the fast is challenge, big challenge. I cannot drink the salty water. It's not coming in.
No, don't put too much salt. Put little. Put little salt.
But will it have the same effect, little salt?
No, it will have the effect, but take longer. That's all. Yeah. Don't. If you cannot take too much salt, just take as much as you can. Put more lemon juice. Yeah.
So it's 1.5 liter of the water.
Huh?
1.5 liter of the water, 1 lemon and 2 spoons of the salt.
Yeah.
2 teaspoons.
And what is lukewarm? Then effect is faster. Yeah, lukewarm. But there cannot be any substitute for fasting. It is very, very important to maintain your health. Not only the health of the body, but also your health of the mind. Fasting helps you to purify your mind also. So, fasting twice a month is very, very important. What else?
Brief. Breath.
Yeah, that we will talk about. Anything else you can think of? Of course, to keep the body healthy, pure, fresh and clean food, pure, fresh and clean water, and pure, fresh and clean air. And also, we have to learn how to breathe properly, which is part of the yoga exercise. breathing exercises. Because if we don't know how to breathe properly, then we cannot absorb enough oxygen, or what we call in yoga prana, from the atmosphere. And if you don't get enough prana, enough oxygen, then after some time your blood becomes toxic. Because the purpose of this prana is to purify the blood. And when your blood becomes toxic, then you can develop any kind of disease. And that's why breathing is very important and pure air is very important. Of course, if you live in a big city, it is difficult to get pure air. But it is also very important that you should know how to breathe properly. So air, water and food, exercise. And when we are eating, one thing also we should consider. You should eat some raw food, some uncooked food, and yogurt every day. Uncooked food means vegetable salad and fruits. Because if you cook everything, then what happens? Cooking destroys all the vitamins and the minerals and all the fiber in the food. All cooked food causes constipation. And you don't get enough vitamins and minerals. So at least 25% of what you eat must be salad, must be fruits. The rest of the food you cook, but then again, don't overcook. Food should be only half cooked. Chinese style, not Indian style. Indian style food is...
Yes, this one, I have a question. Indian food, Indian cuisine has so many heavy food, really heavy, lots of spices, lots of rice. It's not healthy at all.
Of course, that's what I was going to say.
It's like
Indian food is maybe tasty but not healthy in general. Because they also put too much oil.
And they fry this oil.
yes, and all together.
Today, after we finished here, we had another group meditation, and they brought the food from outside. And the vegetable was full of so much oil. I said, I cannot eat. I gave it to somebody else. I only ate a little bit of rice and a little bit of yogurt. So the Indian food is not always healthy. Chinese food is better.
But they also fry too much.
Yes.
No, but they still fry. They don't put too much oil.
Maybe it depends. We have Chinese neighbors and they cook some terrible food. They put so much mushroom, onion and garlic and all this.
Of course. No, Chinese people cannot live without mushroom. And the Indian people cannot live without onions. So, main thing is that we should not eat fried food. Because this refined oil is very, very bad for liver and pancreas. Even now in India, doctors have started saying to the people, don't use this oil. We have to use cold pressed oil. You know what is cold pressed oil? And in India, even now, there are some smaller cities where, for example, you want sesame oil, you bring sesame there, and they have a mill, In front of you, they will make the oil and they will give it to you. So that is what you call cold pressed. And you pay some money. So, that kind of oil, even if you put it in more, it will not harm. But this refined oil definitely creates too much acid in the system. So we should not deep fry it and we should not use too much oil. So, some raw food, as a matter of fact, if you can eat 50% of raw food is better, only 50% of food. Then you will not have accumulated toxin because this raw food has a lot of fiber, fiber? And for example, you eat a lot of lettuce, tomatoes, you make salad from lettuce, tomatoes, carrots, you grated carrots, then cucumber. Cucumber, remember with the skin, not remove the skin. And you should eat at least one cucumber every morning with skin, for your breakfast. It's very healthy. Plus 1 or 2 bananas, plus 1 carrot. If you are not very hungry, this should be your breakfast. And maybe some yogurt. So, with every meal we should have some salad, some fruits. It's very important to keep the body alkaline. So, these are the points that you have to remember. First is to eat only when you are hungry. Second is to eat proper food. Third is to do proper exercise. Fourth is to sleep only when the sleep comes. Fifth is fasting. Sixth is to sleep only in the night and avoid sleeping in the day. Seventh is to eat some raw food and yogurt every day. So remember these 7 points. Yeah. And now, how to keep our mind healthy? What we should do to keep our mind healthy? Do you know? You have to take some tablets to keep your mind healthy.
It's the most difficult for me.
Don't put too much information in your mind. Like,
Too much?
Don't put too much information like social media, movies, that sort of stuff.
You see, like the body needs proper food and proper exercise, the mind also needs proper food and proper exercise. What is the food for the mind?
Information,
Information. What else?
thoughts.
The food for the mind are the thoughts and the ideas. Mind keeps thinking all the time, is it not? But the question, big question is, what kind of thought? What kind of idea? If you have too much negative thoughts, too much of evil thoughts, bad thoughts, then definitely your mind will become sick. So we should have positive thoughts, good thoughts, and progressive thoughts. And this is not easy, because we are habituated to think mechanically and act mechanically. You know, from the time you get up, you go to the bathroom, you wash yourself, have breakfast, go to work. You have a lunch break, eat lunch. Finish your work, go back home. Watch TV or watch something internet, relax a little bit, eat dinner, go to sleep. Next day again. Keep thinking, you know, same day. So we think mechanically, we act mechanically, and we live like a machine. We exist, but we don't really enjoy our life. So, it is important that we become aware of what we think. And we should control our thoughts. They say only 20% of the thought that you think you need, the 80% is just useless. Because most of the time, you are thinking about the past or you are thinking about the future. Past is a history, it's gone, it's dead. Future is a mystery, you don't know. You imagine, it might happen. Especially if you are thinking negatively about the future, that really will make your mind sick. So we should never think about the past, and we should not imagine about the future. Try as much as possible to live in the present, now. So we have to become aware of our thought. And the food for the mind is what? Positive thought, positive ideas, good thoughts, progressive thoughts, pure thoughts, thought of helping other people. This is the food for the mind, the good food for the mind. And then what is the exercise for the mind?
meditation.
The exercise for the mind is, what is meditation? Meditation is not just closing your eye and watching your thought. That is a kind of psychic exercise. You have to do spiritual meditation. And what is spiritual meditation? Spiritual meditation is to direct all our thoughts, to canalize all our thoughts and have only one thought in our mind. And that is, I am the Supreme Consciousness. I am the infinite consciousness. Because that is the fact. Every human being has the potential to become infinite, to become eternal. Body will die one day. Mind will also die one day. But the consciousness, the spirit doesn't die. The consciousness of the spirit is infinite, it is eternal. It is unlimited. So we have to link our mind with the consciousness. That is spiritual meditation. To connect the mind with the spirit. And in the beginning you have to try to connect your mind with the spirit. And after a lot of spiritual meditation, you have to feel, you have to realize that I am not just this physical body made of flesh, blood and bones. I am not just my mind, I am not just my ego, I am not just my intellect. But I am this consciousness. I am the spirit. Then you realize that actually we are all one. Because there is a difference between your body and my body. There is a difference between your body and her mind, your mind and her mind. But there is no difference between your spirit, her spirit and my spirit. It is the same. So, externally we are all different. Apparently we are all different. But fundamentally we are all one. So, when we do spiritual meditation, we will realize this oneness. And to realize this oneness, it is important that you feel the pure love, the unconditional love. And to feel the pure love, unconditional love, you have to serve the neglected humanity. You have to serve the needy people. You cannot live just for yourself and your family and your friends. No, you are living in the society, you have obligation to the other human beings because we all belong to one human family. So we cannot just say, okay, I am fine. And my family, my friends, they are all fine. And those people who are sleeping in the street, those people who are starving to death, those people who freeze to death because they have no home. No, we have to do something for them also. So when you selflessly, unconditionally serve the needy people, the neglected humanity, you will feel this love. And that's why the purpose of human life is twofold. One is to realize your true self, your infinite self, your consciousness. And the second is to serve the neglected humanity. Not only neglected humanity, but we have to also serve the animals and the plants. So, that is the twofold purpose of the human life. And for that, we have to develop ourselves physically, mentally and spiritually. And to develop ourselves physically, mentally and spiritually, we have to practice something. exercise is a practice. Eating proper food is a practice. It is not just sitting and reading books. You can read so many books about what to eat, what not to eat. But unless until you put it into practice, it's useless to read. You can read so many books about exercise, so many kinds of exercise. But if you don't do it, it is useless. You are wasting your time. Remember, it is the practice which makes a person perfect. It's not the theory. It's not listening to the talk. It's not reading books. It's the practice. So, yoga is a practical philosophy. This philosophy should be practiced in our daily life. And by practicing this philosophy, we will be able to link, we will be able to connect our mind with the soul, with the spirit, with the consciousness. And then we will know our true identity, our real identity. And then only we will feel fulfilled and satisfied and contented and happy. Happy internally, not only externally. So you have to adopt a way of living, a way of life, which will help you to find the true happiness, the inner peace within yourself. You should not depend on other people to be happy. Because then you will never be happy. You should depend on yourself to be happy. And for that, you have to do spiritual meditation, you have to do yoga exercise, you have to change many of your habits. Main thing is, you have to change your way of thinking.
This is the most difficult.
And that is the most difficult thing, but not impossible. If you do spiritual meditation twice a day regularly, sit and practice. Not just talk about it, listen about it, but practice. Then you will be able to change your way of thinking. I know so many people who have changed their way of thinking and they have formed a very meaningful and purposeful life. But you have to make effort. They say the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. So don't delay, because you are not in this world forever. And remember, you are growing old, you are not growing younger. The more you become old, the more health issues you will have. So when you are young, take the proper care. Do proper exercise, do spiritual meditation, and make your mind introverted. Go deeper within yourself and connect your mind with the consciousness so that you can feel the everlasting happiness, eternal happiness in this very life. Thank you very much.